Let me tell you something right now, you've got more inside you than you're giving yourself credit for. You've faced challenges, you've faced setbacks, you've had moments where you thought, why is this happening to me? But here's the truth, nothing in life is permanent. Not your successes, not your failures, not your pain, not your joy. Life is constantly changing, evolving, shifting. It's not meant to stay the same, and that's your power. You see, when you're in the middle of a storm, it can feel endless. It can feel like the clouds will never clear and the rain will never stop. You think, this is it. This is my life now, but I'm here to tell you it's not. The storm doesn't last forever. The sun always rises. That bad day you're going through, it's just 24 hours. Tomorrow is a blank slate, and you hold the pen to write what comes next. You might be sitting there thinking, but you don't understand my situation. You don't know my struggle, and you're right. I don't. But I do know this, you are stronger than your struggle. You've already survived your hardest days. Think about that for a second. You've been knocked down, hurt, disappointed, maybe even betrayed. But you're still here. You're still breathing. That means you've got a chance to turn it around, a chance to grow, a chance to become more than you've ever been. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. I know that's not always easy to hear when you're in the thick of it. When you've lost something, when you're hurting, when you feel stuck, it's hard to believe there's a purpose behind it. But let me tell you, pain is a teacher. It's not here to define you, it's here to refine you. It's like a fire that burns away the old, the unnecessary, the things that aren't serving you, and leaves behind something stronger, something unbreakable. That fire doesn't last forever, but the strength you gain from it does. When you're in the middle of a bad day, you've got to remind yourself, this is temporary, this is not my forever. This is just a chapter, not my whole story, because it's not the day that defines you, it's what you do with it. It's how you respond. It's the choices you make. Are you going to let one bad day, one bad moment, one tough situation control your life? Or are you going to stand up, dust yourself off and say, not today. This is not how my story ends. Every single one of us has faced tough times. Maybe it's a job you lost. Maybe it's a relationship that ended. Maybe it's a dream that didn't work out the way you hoped. But let me tell you something, you are not your job. You are not that relationship. You are not that failed dream. Those things are just experiences. They're stepping stones, they're lessons. They don't define you unless you let them. The real you, the powerful, unstoppable you is still in there. Sometimes life throws dirt on us. It buries us in problems, stress, disappointment. But just like a seed buried in the ground, the dirt doesn't hold you down. It's what you grow from. It's what pushes you to rise up, break through, and reach for the light. But here's the catch, you've got to choose to grow. You've got to believe that the light is there even if you can't see it yet. You're the author of your own life. And yes, bad days happen. They happen to all of us. But they don't have to define the whole story. A bad day is like a bad page in a book. It doesn't mean the whole book is bad. You turn the page and guess what? The story keeps going. It gets better. It gets more exciting. And the tough parts, those are what make the victory so much sweeter. If you've ever been through a really hard time and come out the other side, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The feeling of relief, of strength, of pride that you made it, that's what life is about. You can't appreciate the sunshine without the rain. You can't know true joy without having faced some pain. And you can't grow into the person you're meant to be without being stretched, challenged, and sometimes even broken. But broken doesn't mean defeated. It means ready to rebuild. Think about your worst days. Think about the times you thought you wouldn't make it. Now look where you are. Look at how far you've come. You've already overcome more than you realize. You've already proven that you're resilient, resourceful, and relentless. That bad day you're having right now, it's just one more test. And I know you're going to pass it. Why? Because you've got what it takes. Because you've got the power to choose how you respond. Here's what I want you to do the next time you're in a tough moment. Stop. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself this is just temporary. This is not the end. I've been through worse, and I've come out stronger. And then decide how you're going to show up. Decide to find the lesson. Decide to focus on the solution, not the problem. Decide to take one step forward no matter how small. Because progress, no matter how slow, is still progress. Let me tell you something about momentum. Momentum is everything. When you're stuck in a bad day, it's easy to let that momentum pull you down. You start thinking negative thoughts. You start believing the worst about yourself, about others, about the world. But you can stop that momentum in its tracks. How? By taking control of your focus. What you focus on is what you feel. So instead of focusing on the problem, focus on the solution. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, focus on what's right. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can. When you shift your focus, you shift your momentum. And once you've got positive momentum on your side, there's no stopping you. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It just gets bigger and bigger, faster and faster. That's the power of taking one step forward, even on your worst day, because every step builds momentum. Every small win leads to bigger wins. And before you know it, that day is just a distant memory. You've got to trust the process. Trust that every experience, every challenge, every setback is part of a bigger plan. You might not see it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that everything you went through was preparing you for something greater. The pain, the struggle, the frustration, it's all shaping you into the person you're meant to be. But you've got to keep moving forward. You've got to keep believing. You've got to keep believing. You've got to keep showing up. Because here's the truth, life isn't about avoiding bad days. It's about learning how to handle them. It's about becoming so strong, so resilient, so confident in who you are that no bad day can break you. It's about realizing that you are bigger than any problem, any challenge, any setback. You are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you respond. So the next time you're having a bad day, remember this, it's just 24 hours. It's a blip on the radar. It's a single wave in the vast ocean of your life. Don't let it drown you. Ride it out. Keep going. Keep growing. Because nothing is permanent, not the pain, not the struggle, not the fear. And when the storm passes, you'll be stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever comes next. You've got this. I believe in you. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself. So here's the bottom line: a bad day is just that, a day. It's not your destiny, it's not your identity, and it's certainly not the end of your story. You have the power to rise above it, to push through it, and to grow because of it. Every storm runs out of rain, every night turns into day, and every tough moment eventually gives way to something better. You are stronger than you think, more capable than you realize, and more resilient than you give yourself credit for. Don't let one tough moment rob you of the greatness that's waiting for you on the other side. Keep moving, keep believing, and keep showing up for yourself, because the best is yet to come. Remember, nothing is permanent, not the good times, not the bad ones. And that truth is what makes life so beautiful. Now, go out there and own your story. You've got this.